Hi, I'm Dan from Hytera UK and welcome to Hytera Product Focus. This is a series of videos where we look at a range of portables, mobiles, radios, accessories and solutions from Hytera. Today we're going to be talking about the PD3 series, which is a variety of portable radios from our digital migration range. Let's start by having a look at the different types of the PD3 series. Here we have the three main variants of the PD3 series. We have the PD355, the PD365 and the PD375. Each one of these radios has two or three sub-variants in terms of the frequencies in which they operate on or whether they're licensed or license-free. Let's start by having a look at the 355 and 365. The first variant of the 355 and 365 is license-free. So this is digital or analog 446. These can be easily identified by the suffix on the radio model number being LF, of course standing for license free. So this would be the PD355LF or the PD365LF. Next we have the licensed radios and the licensed radio bands operating on 400 to 440 MHz. And the final variant is 430 to 470 MHz. So there's no VHF version available, only UHF. Next, looking at the PD375, this is unique in the PD3 series in that it has a wider band in which it operates on for those of you using channels over a wider part of the UHF spectrum. This operates on 400 to 450 MHz or 430 to 480 MHz. So make sure to select the correct version of the radio that you need based on the channels that you have available, or if you intend to use the radio as a license-free radio, make sure to select the LF version of the PD355 or 365. Hopefully the first thing you'll have noticed about the PD3 series is they look a lot different from a traditional, rectangular, bulky radio with a long antenna. The PD3 is slim, it's sleek, it's compact and it's light. If I compare it here against this pen, you'll notice that the PD365 is actually smaller than the pen in terms of its height. In terms of weight, both the 355 and 365 weigh in at about the 160 gram mark, with the PD375 just that little bit more at 165 grams. In terms of the battery life you can expect out of these radios, you're talking about getting about 12 hours in digital mode. That's working on a 5-5-90 principle, which is 5% of the time receiving, 5% of the time transmitting, and 90% of the time idle. The radios themselves are actually very robust despite their discreet look, offering IP54 rating for dust and liquid ingression. In terms of migrating your radios to digital, as the name of the series would suggest, these radios are absolutely brilliant. You can have analog and digital channels in the same radio and switch between them at a push of a button. This means that you can continue using your old analog radios with the PD3 series in analog mode. Then when you've changed all the radios in your fleet or on a specific group to digital, just swap the radios into digital mode by changing the channel. In terms of the power output on the 3 series, on the LF variants you're limited, as it's a license-free radio, to 0.5 watts power output. On the licensed variants, it's 1.5 watts in low power and 3 watts in high power. Lastly, just to talk about the number of channels you can expect in these radios, there's an outstanding amount of channels with 256 channels spread over 16 zones, which is more than enough for almost every radio user. So how might you use the PD3 series? Obviously there's a variety of ways in which the PD3 series could be set up for you, so make sure to talk to your point of purchase or your radio reseller about how you plan on using your PD3 series. But let's have a look at a typical setup. On the left-hand side of the radio, we can see there's a large tactile push-to-talk button which enables you to make group calls. The fantastic thing about this PTT button is that no matter where I press it, it's able to make and set up calls. In terms of adjusting the volume of the radio, we simply move left and right on the main function key. And this is the same when it comes to changing channels, except it's up and down. As you can see, there's a large backlit display which when a group call or an individual call is made to you, you'll be able to see who it is, who's speaking, who's calling, whether it's the user ID or the user alias, and if it's a group call, the name of the group as well for easy identification. In order to go into the menu, we simply select this button, and this allows you to access text messaging, it allows you to make individual calls, and a variety of other settings and features. Lastly, we have 4 programmable buttons on the PD3 series, P1, P2 and P3 down the bottom here, and we also have an extra function key programmable button on the side. These can be set up for long presses and short presses to do a variety of different features, including changing the transmit power level, doing one-touch calls, one-touch texts, or accessing the contact list. Let's go inside the box of a PD3 series radio, in this case the PD355. This is applicable to the UK region only and is subject to change, so make sure to check with your point of purchase before ordering your radio. First and foremost, you get the radio itself, in this case the PD355. In order to power your radio, you get a 2000 mAh lithium-ion battery, which, as mentioned earlier in this video, provides 12 hours battery life in digital mode approximately. In order to charge up your radio's battery, you will receive this micro USB charger. You'll be familiar with this, many of you, from charging up your phone. To enable you to carry your PD355 radio, the radio comes with this belt clip, which clicks nicely and allows you to wear it on your belt, on your skirt, on your trousers, or just out of your trousers pocket. We also have another method of carrying, which is this nylon strap. This can be connected into the side of the 355 radio and enable you to carry it on your wrist or around your neck because the radio is so light, or however you wish to carry it. Lastly, the PD3 series comes with 3 booklets of information, the first being a safety information booklet. We then have a user guide to show you how to use your radio, and a short declaration of conformity as well. As well as the variety of accessories that actually come with your PD3 series radios in the box, which can all be purchased separately as well, we have some additional accessories to either enhance your audio experience or to offer a different way of charging your radio's battery. Let's have a look at how you might charge your radio's battery slightly differently. You'll be familiar with this micro USB charger from the previous video, which can be connected directly into your PD3 series radio for charging. However, if you wish to charge your radio's battery separate, for example if you're working shifts and have the same radio but different batteries in order to maximise the life of your radio, you can use the CH10 L20 battery charging pod, which connects in to power via this micro USB adapter. So when it comes to your turn on the shift, simply remove the battery which has been charged up in this pod from the pod itself, put it into your radio and continue using it whilst other batteries are on charge. To enhance your audio experience with the PD3 series, Hytera offers a full flexible range of earpieces. Here we have the ACS01 mic and PTT part, which can be attached onto your shirt, your t-shirt, or onto your blouse. There is a push-to-talk part here, which allows you to make group calls in exactly the same way as if you were pressing the push-to-talk button on the radio itself. It also has a mic onto it, meaning that you can speak into this connector itself without having to talk into the radio. You then have this jack, which allows you to plug in a range of Hytera earpieces, which include the EH01 C-shaped earpiece, the ES02 acoustic tube earpiece, the ES01 earbud earpiece, and the EH02 swivel earpiece, which looks very much like a D-shaped earpiece. The last thing we're going to focus on in this series of videos is where we've seen the PD3 series fit well here in the UK in terms of the vertical markets. The first one is within education. It allows teachers and other teaching staff to contact reception, to contact head teachers and to contact each other at the simple push of a button. And this is ideal when on school trips, in day-to-day operation, or for contacting each other across wider areas such as a school playing field or a school playground. The second area where we've had fantastic user feedback is in the retail sector. It allows those working on the shop floor to stay in touch with each other, to stay in touch with their managers, and to stay in touch with those in the stock room to inform them when stock needs to be replenished out in the front of the shop. The last area we've seen it work really well is in hotels and hospitality. As we've mentioned, the PD3 series is a very discreet radio. It's very light and it has a range of accessories and flexibly able to benefit their user from an audio perspective. It enables those doing cleaning, those at the front of house, and managers to keep in touch with each other very easily.